I love it. It makes me happy.
Okay, let's do this.
Breeds in K-pop. Koreaboo.
Koreaboos, I feel that they tend to give the rest of people who like Korean culture a very bad name.
There's a huge difference between Koreaboo and a K-pop fan. Koreaboo is someone who completely neglects their own culture in order to learn about the Korean race and the Korean culture. They will often pretend to be Korean when they're not Korean, and they sort of objectify the Korean race and the Korean culture in a really unhealthy way.
I don't think there's anything wrong with enjoying and appreciating another culture that's not your own, as long as it's done in a respectful manner.
I mean, they're just people in the end, so I don't feel right judging them.
I've never been called one because I'm not on the internet, so...
Actually, no. Not to my face.
We have been called a Koreaboo though, in a very offensive and negative way.
No, I have not.
Once. So I am actually studying Korean. I want to take the Korean proficiency exam. And I remember I did like a study language challenge on Instagram. This one guy, I mean, he lives in Korea too. I live in Korea, by the way. And he asked me, "Are you a Koreaboo?" And I was like, "Why are you asking me this?" He was like, "Because, you know, you're just like trying so hard to learn Korean and stuff, and you're like, you moved all the way here." And I'm like, first of all, you live in Korea too. Second of all, am I supposed to like live here and just not know anything about the culture or the language? I'm confused.
Like, I literally just posted a video of me dancing to a Twice song and someone was like, "Ugh, Koreaboo," and I'm just like, I wasn't even touched. I know you don't know what a Koreaboo is.
But K-pop fans, most of the time, we just like K-pop music, we like the food, we like the language, we like the culture. It doesn't make us a Koreaboo.
It's good to learn and understand so you can show the person that you care about them, you're treating them as a human, you're taking the time and effort to learn their culture so you can show them respect.
But my dad has always liked martial arts movies, and my older sister always liked historical Asian movies. So me liking Korean culture wasn't much of a shock. It was just like, another one has joined, you know. Like if you grew up watching ETV, there was always some martial arts movie, maybe at Sunday at 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. I can't remember. We all know it. So people do kind of like Asian culture in SA, but they're more obsessed with American culture.
Well, my siblings, I dragged down the deep hole, and we all enjoy K-pop and listen to it. And I think initially my parents were not really happy with the idea of us investing ourselves into K-pop and listening to it. They were like, "Wow, that's so weird." But now I think they've started to ease up because it's been so many years standing K-pop music that even now, like, my parents tend to joke about it. My parents tend to tease me about Jackson Wang and Yoongi. So I guess they're slowly easing up on the idea.
Our mom has been sucked in.
We have our whole family in K-pop.
We all be doing the dance.
We also have friends that were like complete strangers, and then we found out that they were K-pop fans, and they were just like, "Hey!" And the best thing about K-pop friends is that because you get attacked so much from outside people, you have like a really strong bond with your K-pop friends because you guys are always supporting each other and protecting each other from outside attack and judgment because you like K-pop. And because the K-pop community get judged a lot, the K-pop community also takes on a lot of issues that resolve around protecting other people that get judged. Even if it's not about K-pop anymore, we just constantly, anytime we see someone being judged for something, we're always like, must protect them because we know how much that hurts. But when it comes to our non-K-pop friends,
We love our non-K-pop friends, even though it might be hard to be around them when they're constantly attacking us about the things we love. We support them when they're sharing with us the things they love, but for some reason they can't do this with us.
in fact, most of the time they go out of their way to tell us how much they hate K-pop and the things that we love, like the dances and, oh, they look like girls and stuff. They like completely go out of their way to tell us that.
This has affected, like, for instance, me in a bad way. Talita loves sharing her stuff. MVs, teasers,
Hanji song.
but me, I don't do that anymore because I've been attacked too many times and it's just stressful, so I don't do it.
I've been lucky to just have like accepting friends, but my past friends were actually One Direction fans, and they were just like, oh, so now you're into boy bands.
My family and friends are kind of used to it. So I've been listening to K-pop since I was in high school, just like 10 or so years ago.
But I have a lot of friends who are into K-pop as well. And my other friends probably don't see the reason of why I like K-pop.
Got like two groups of friends, the K-pop ones and the non-K-pop ones. I can be my full K-pop self with my K-pop friends, so when I chill with my non-K-pop friends, I don't feel the need to bring up K-pop, and we can talk about whatever. And they're all pretty chill. I get those few friends that will hate on K-pop, but those are more acquaintances. Yeah! My non-K-pop friends are into anime. Like, they're all learning Japanese. Like, we'll be chilling in a group and people just start speaking Japanese. So like when I just randomly start speaking Korean with my K-pop friends, people are just like, oh, it's just like the same thing, you know?
Yeah. I think fanboys are amazing.
I think they're very rare. You don't get to see fanboys that often.
For me, most of the guys that I know that like K-pop are actually into dancing, which is pretty cool because like K-pop dances are like the best thing ever.
The fun.
I like fanboys because it shows that K-pop is not just for girls. It shows that if you just find your genre in K-pop, because it's not just pop music, if you just find your genre, you will like the music. It's not just for girls.
I don't know why there's such a stigma about being a fanboy.
I think it's a bit of a pity that there aren't as many as fangirls.
To be proud of liking something that most boys your age do not like is amazing. Like, I think fanboys are honestly incredible.
Be it in K-pop or like out of K-pop. Like fanboys, if you say I'm a fanboy, they automatically think, or you're too sensitive, or you're too... They always like to have like a negative image towards fanboys, and I really don't see the reason why. So if you're a fanboy and you're reading this, I love you. You're appreciated.
That we're all fanatic, you know?
I think a common misconception about fangirls is that they only like BTS, or that they're usually a high school or primary school girl who is very childish and very immature and possessive. The thing is that there are a lot of fangirls that are like that, so...
Everyone immediately thinks that all fangirls are the worst extreme.
People assume that I know everything Korean related, that everything I do is Korean related, and that is not the case. I have a life outside of it. I do photography, videography, and animation. I don't have the time to always be obsessing over idols and what they're doing, what they're wearing, what they're eating, where they're at, their performances. I do not. I do like Korean culture, but I also have a life.
That we want to date every Asian guy.
No, we don't. We'll be out with friends and an Asian guy will walk past and he'll be like, Slita, look, an Asian guy for you. And I'm like, do you expect me to be like,
oh my gosh, an Asian guy, like I must, like my heart cannot contain.
like, no.
Every fangirl is out to get her oppa, or every fangirl has some kind of weird Asian fetish. Like, yo, that logic does not make any sense, because if you had to change the race in that situation or the music genre in that situation, it literally would sound so ridiculous. So why do people say that about K-pop fangirls?
People know me. If you know me, then you know why I'm in this fandom for. I don't need to like justify myself.
Yeah.
No, not at all, actually. There's nothing else I can say there, because it really, really hasn't.
If I think about it, yes. If I can put it that way. Like when I go back to Taiwan, and I can see that the makeup standards, the dress style of dressing, it's set by Korean trends.
I think that beauty standards have slightly affected me. I never really used to pay attention to how small a face was. I mean, like, I'm kind of past that stage, but I do think initially it really affected me. I was like, wow, these people are gorgeous. Why do I not look like that 24/7? Why don't I have good skin? But what's great is that I've always suffered from really bad skin, and you know, I started taking care of my skin a lot more ever since I got into K-beauty and things like that. So I do like that, and I love their fashion.
The fashion has influenced us a lot. like their fashion is just incredible. Like I really like it, and it's funny because people mock us when we used to like dress like how they kind of dress in Korean fashion, because you see it, and a lot of the time at first it's like, that's so weird, why would you pair those items together? And then after like 2 minutes you're like, actually that looks really good. So then you wear it and people are like, what are you wearing? And then a few months later it like filters down here in South Africa, and then I see those outfits like exactly like that in the shops, and I'm like, and then my friends are wearing it and I'm like, but you see, like I was wearing this.
Girl, you said it was ugly.
I just think that because I grew up in SA, because there's a variety of different cultures and different looks, it's really hard to try and implement Korean beauty standards.
Beauty standards haven't changed. My standards of attraction for people haven't changed, but I feel like Korea meets those standards very well.
I think in South Africa it was different for me because I could kind of detach from, you know, this is the Korean beauty standard, but this is like the South African beauty standard, and even then like South Africa doesn't care as much about beauty standards as Koreans do. But now, having moved into Korean society, it's true that you see like plastic surgery ads and like super thin K-pop idols and skin bleaching ads and all sorts of things like that everywhere. That I would say maybe affect you on days where you're having like low self-esteem. But if you look around, there are a lot of people who don't look like that. It affects you as much as you let it.
Yes!
Yeah. Most of them are online though.
Oh, please don't get me started.
Unfortunately, I have.
Toxic people are very much in the minority, but they're very loud.
They're loud.
Because I freelanced for the Korean embassy for like maybe 2 or 3 years, every time I attended the events, obviously the regular K-pop fans would see me at those events. So all of the little fans now started to like follow me, or they want to be friends with me, and then it's always that they just wanted to use me to get closer to the embassy, and it really annoyed me because it's like, you're not even approaching me for me, you're approaching me to get to Korean people, and that's obsessive. Like, that's really weird. It makes me feel uncomfortable, and it makes them feel uncomfortable, like the people at the embassy. Like, please don't do it.
I've got friends of all races, Asian included, and I've always had friends of all races, Asian included. And say I'll go to a K-pop event, right? And I'll be chilling with a group of Asian people. And then random Koreaboos from I don't know which corners of the earth will come out and be like, oh my gosh, you have Asian friends? How did you get them? And the way people are always like, can I have one? Can I like, Asian people are not toys or objects, like they're people.
Yeah, I can't ship them over
and
to
I
you.
can't like, I feel like that's so racist and so dehumanizing, and I just it irritates me. It's never okay to be racist, guys. It doesn't matter who you're being racist against, it's never okay. If someone did that to a black person, you would have fought.
Yeah, you would have been.
You can't do it to Asian people. You can't do it to any race. Like, you gotta respect people.
But I do think there are fans who don't know when to draw the line between like K-pop and reality, if that makes sense. From the context of being in Korea, those K-pop fans tend to have a very big misconception about what actual Korean people are like. Like, they engage with Koreans in like this really weird superficial way that it's almost like the Koreans are all something out of a K-drama. I don't know. It's just a very superficial way that they interact with Koreans, stuff like that, and then just the way that that affects the rest of us. Because just for example, one Korean interacts with one foreigner, but this foreigner interacts with them in a weird way, but maybe that Korean doesn't meet another foreigner for a while, and so that Korean tells all the Koreans around them that, oh, I met a foreigner and this is what it was like. And then those Koreans get a misconception of like the rest of us regular foreigners who are just trying to get to work.
So a lot of the time you see girls saying really dodgy things about the K-pop idols, and it's like, okay, but guys, they're also people too, like, please respect them for that.
Please stop objectifying them. Like we've been saying, no, that's not very nice.
And also with fan wars, you have a lot of people who are like, I don't like that group, and it's like, okay, you don't have to like them, but don't like say bad things about them. And then people always putting out bad hate, like, oh, I hate that group so much. Like, we have enough hate from people outside the K-pop community. We really don't need to be hating on each other. But they've also been really good encounters as well.
For the most part, like when we just focus on the K-pop itself, I actually think that it's the most awesomest and fun time ever, because you just talk to someone and then you literally, you've never met them before, or sometimes you don't even know their name, but you're just excited with each other and you can just fangirl or fanboy with each other and just appreciate the artists and the music or the songs or the dances together, especially in South Africa because we're kind of few and far between, so we need to stick together.
One word, happiness. That's all I can think of because I've been a K-pop fan since 2012.
I think the impact that K-pop has had on me has been huge.
We now not only have bigger friend groups like in person, but you also meet a lot of people online and you just like instantly click because of K-pop.
I've always been somebody who does things that are out of their comfort zone, but like K-pop has taken me to the extent. K-pop had led me to K-dramas, that led me to Korean film. I was a film major. That led me to doing film events with the Korean embassy. Working at the Korean embassy led to me moving to Korea to teach English, of all things. You know, I have just developed so much and learned so much about myself as a person.
It like helped me find things that I love. Like since I got into K-pop, I feel like I've danced a lot more, I've sang a lot more, I've improved my skills a lot more. My work ethic has completely changed in every aspect of my life because I think seeing the idols work so hard kind of makes me want to work harder at everything.
It reignited my passion for dance and music, and it made me appreciate the intricacies and work that goes into productions and performances and just entertainment as a whole. I started to pay much more attention to film and the beauty of it, and you know, they have some of the most beautiful music videos I've seen, and it really helped me kind of reignite that spark that I have.
It made me realize who was really my friend and who really wasn't my friend. And then it also made me look at my career more seriously because in Korea, people tend to pay their crew and respect their crew way better than in SA. So I feel that it made me think of Korea as an option to apply for a job there.
So if I didn't have K-pop, I'm not actually sure what music I'd listen to. Guys, K-pop is the best hype music.
Anyways.
Also, a lot of my close friends I met through K-pop. My life is a lot better because I have K-pop in it. Not just through the people that I meet, but the connections that we have. It's definitely impacted in a very positive way.
I could be 40 years old and still being one of the hugest K-pop fans ever. Sorry, not sorry.